Believe it or not, getting a dog today is completely different than getting a dog years ago. So many things have changed. Bree and I agreed that we really need to talk about this with you guys. Look, it's not like we've been going through the process of getting a new puppy in the last couple of weeks or anything. However, if you are following me on TikTok, you will know things. Fortunately for me, there are still some things that are pretty timeless, like having to train your dog. So far, Tesla's humanoid robot hasn't figured that one out yet. There's so much great advice out there about training dogs, like those required by professional organizations like the American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior, the American College of Veterinary Behavior, the Association of Professional Dog Trainers, the International Association of Animal Behavior Consultants, and every other modern organization that bases their methods in the latest science of how dogs learn best, while taking into account both the short and long-term welfare of those dogs. And if you've got a new puppy, you're in this awesome position to not use outdated methods right from the start. Well, I think it's awesome that so many of you come to videos like this to learn how to train your dog, and I hope you continue to do so. There are so many advantages to doing in-person dog training with, and this is the important part, a qualified professional. Finding a trainer who understands positive reinforcement training and who also understands that using aversive methods has the potential to cause side effects in your dog's training is so critical. And it used to be a real issue to find a trainer that you could be confident was using modern methods. But now, especially in the United States, they're everywhere and they're easily accessible thanks to our friends at Petco. Every Petco trainer has undergone training themselves in the value of positive reinforcement training, by far the most powerful way to teach a dog. Here's what Petco will do for you. They understand exactly what you're going through. You're probably dealing with things like puppy biting and maybe separation anxiety. You want to know how to teach your dog sit and stay and come and how to listen to you reliably. And the great thing too that I like about Petco classes is that you can keep progressing up the ladder. So as soon as you finish one class, you can go on to the next one and just keep raising the bar for your dog. So you're going to be able to get feedback from your trainer every step of the way. And their classes are nice and small too. If you've done any research on training, you'll know it can cost literally many hundreds to thousands of dollars for a comparable service. Especially for those of you with a puppy out there, it's a no-brainer to sign up for a class at Petco. I'm going to have a link below where you can sign up right now. And right now, by using my code ZAK10, you can get 10% off. I've been around in this profession a minute, haven't I? It's crazy how time flies. I've done a handful of things over the years of my dog training career. I mean, I've taught group classes. I've performed on the road with my dogs doing stunt dog shows. I've even had a couple of TV shows of my own. Remember when people used to watch TV? Of course, I've done private training as well, and I've written a couple of dog training books. I'll have links below to those. And since 2006, I've been a YouTuber as well. And I am pretty obsessed about keeping up with the latest and greatest in the dog world. And it kind of hit me. I mean, things are pretty insane these days. But it is 2022 now, and we're just getting over the pandemic, which was terrible in so many ways. But there was a silver lining in that it seemed to accelerate the use of technology in our lives. And it's clear that we're not going back from a lot of those things. And it's been really apparent in the pet world too, which is cool. How do I say this without giving too many spoilers? Okay, let's just say that my wife was hypothetically looking for a new puppy recently, and we were noticing a lot of the things that are different these days about hypothetically adopting a new dog. I mean, we're able to look online at dogs all over the country, even the world now. And we've been able to do that for a good while, right? However, now you can meet these dogs via Zoom. You can virtually interact with them in so many ways. And I think one of the most amazing things about this is that rescue dogs have the opportunity to be more optimally matched with their correct families. But the thing is, like, there are some things you have to ask yourself to even know if you're ready for a dog in the first place. So let's quickly go over what a responsible breeder or responsible rescue group is going to need to know from you. And it's true that some organizations are going to be more strict than others. Some will have to determine whether or not they think the dog is going to be okay in an apartment, or if they require a fenced yard for a dog. A lot of them are going to require proof too that you've provided medical care to your existing or past pets. And one of the things that has changed over the years, that I've noticed at least, is so many are asking if you have knowledge of positive reinforcement training. In fact, Bree, I know that on one of the applications you were looking at, they kind of set you up. They were like, what would you do if a dog snapped at you while they were playing with a toy and you went to grab it? And another question I think they asked you is, what training tools are you comfortable using? So I know a lot of rescues are really trying to make sure that their dogs go to homes where these modern methods are going to be used as well, which I think is a good thing because it's likely to prevent worse issues from emerging later. Okay, but think about this. How much time do you actually have for a dog? In order to be a good pet parent to a dog, it's not like you have to train them 24 hours a day and and spend every waking moment with them. And fortunately, these days, there are a variety of different ways to make sure that your training and your progress with your dog is as efficient as possible. When I first started training dogs, Bree, if I was able to have an automatic reminder of what I needed to work on, I think I would be a better dog trainer today. And like if someone would just say, hey, these are some of the supplies you're gonna need to train your dog, that would be even better. I think you see where I'm going with this. It's actually been years now that I've been using PupBox to supplement my own training. My favorite part about PupBox though is that they send you these training cards right here. These are no joke, they are highly detailed. 2 sides, it really helps you zone in on exactly what you need to be working on with your dog at their specific age. So this is the 5-month-old box. So with a lot of 5-month-old puppies, you're definitely going to be struggling with lots of jumping behavior. And so they give you a lot of information on that right here. Hey, does anyone have a 5-month-old dog that jumps on them? Maybe I should be asking if anyone has a 5-month-old dog that doesn't jump on them. You also get some fantastic nutrition advice as well. So they're not just sending you toys and treats in a box necessarily. For example, when you're socializing your dog and you're out and about with them, you're gonna have to keep them hydrated. PupBox understands this. That's why they give you this portable water and bowl. This is an interactive puzzle toy for a dog, so you can put these little squeaky toys right here in this hole, and your dog can try to figure out how to get them out. Oh, I can see how the dogs really get into this. I know what I'm doing after the shoot. From the bottom of my heart, a tug toy is one of my favorite training tools as well, because dogs who really like to play tug, you can use that to motivate them to perform lots of different tasks. The things you're gonna get in your PupBox are definitely a step up. They've really put a lot of thought into these items. I have never seen dog treats quite like this. I mean, look at that. This is actual food. Look, it takes a lot to surprise me, but 2022, man. Things are getting nuts. Go to PupBox.com/Zak and use discount code Zak to get half off your first box. I'm gonna have information below. And since all of us watching this video are presumably interested in teaching their dogs, time does matter. I mean, you do wanna make sure that you have the appropriate amount of time to work with your dog. One of the things that's really changed in our world is that work from home jobs are at an all-time high, it seems. And that's a really positive development for dogs. And even when you do have to go into work, so many workplaces are more dog-friendly than ever before too. But if your puppy is gonna be alone during the day, it's really important that either you or someone can get to them to let them out midday, play with them for a little bit, give them a potty break, and so on. That's what brings me to my next point. To find a dog walker or to find a pet sitter, there's so many apps available right now that you can use, especially if you have a higher energy dog, which we'll talk about in a second. You will want to make sure that you have time to exercise them, preferably early in the day, so that they're nice and satisfied before you have to encourage them to spend some time alone while you work. So for most of you, that means you'll probably have to wake up a little bit earlier. Some people can handle that better than others. I mean, keep in mind, it takes a good year for a dog to gain enough life experience to really start to become a well-behaved dog in a variety of different circumstances. Because there's no way to fast forward life experience no matter how good a trainer you are. So that can take a significant amount of your time. Make sure you're prepared for that. It's one thing to find a dog, but finding the right dog for you is the other part of this equation. You're committed to living with this animal for the next 15 years or more, hopefully. It's worth really previewing and getting to know a few dogs to determine which ones will probably work for your lifestyle. I would be really cautious of adopting the first puppy or dog that you see, though sometimes that can work out just fine. And this is the one thing that I wish I could get across and really just transplant into people's brain when selecting a dog, because it often gets missed. Do your best to assess the energy level of the dog. I typically will break energy level down on a scale of 1 to 3, 3 being the most energetic, 1 being the least energetic. Most people are probably looking for a level 2 dog. The more energetic a dog is, the more of your time they're probably going to require to be satisfied. The less energetic they are, the more content they might be to just chill out and hang out with you. So, I mean, when you're trying to find the right dog for you, their energy level is the most important thing to consider. But as we are learning these days, so many adoptions are done over video or photos or digital communication. So what's the best way to determine how energetic a dog is going to be long term? Number one, you want to talk to the person who knows that dog best. Maybe it's the breeder, maybe it's the foster group, but really try to get your head around how energetic is this dog? Because even with puppies, that's a good indicator of how they're going to be for the next many years. A lot of people think, oh, dogs just chill out after a couple of years. That hasn't been my experience. So if they're very energetic as a puppy, chances are they're going to be very energetic for the foreseeable future. So in person, when I'm meeting a dog, what I've done in the past is I'll bring a tug toy toy or a squeaky toy and really encourage them to play with that to try and determine, are they really interested in this? Do they stay interested in it for a sustained period of time? That's often the sign of a more focused, perhaps even more trainable dog for advanced tasks, but also a more energetic dog overall. But if you're going to do this long distance, you can easily have the person on the other end of the video call do a tug test with them or toss a toy to see if a dog fetches a toy or what their overall interest is. And one of the great things too is that you can really see how these dogs behave in an environment where they're really well adjusted, which is actually kind of an advantage, because before I might go to preview a dog, but I'm brand new to this dog. This dog hasn't gotten a chance to meet me, so it's hard to say necessarily if I'm getting the most accurate version of this dog at that moment. So I think overall this is a pretty positive development. But what about money? I mean, you can't exactly pay for dog supplies with NFTs just yet. And I mean, it's true, things like food and vet care and supplies are more expensive than ever. And I think a lot of people really do underestimate how much it costs to have a dog. As of today, to provide for, say, a medium-sized dog, on the lower end, you're probably looking at around $2,000 annually. Most of that is going to be dog food, and of course you could easily spend much more than that if you choose a really ultra-premium dog food, or if you're going to the vet more often. If you're going to use things like dog walkers or doggy daycare or grooming regularly, that will drive up costs substantially. Now, I don't want to make it sound like you absolutely have to be rich to provide for a dog, but there are definitely a lot of lower cost options on a lot of these things, including vet care, and really tons of ways to take wonderful care of a dog without spending a fortune. But in order to be the most responsible pet guardian possible, it is a very good idea to have a plan as to how you are going to financially provide for your dog. And one of the reasons I chose Petco pet training classes and PupBox for the sponsors to this video is because they do a great job at making the whole dog raising process more efficient. And I think that's what all of us are after. So I'm going to have information on Petco's pet training classes in the description. Remember, you do need to sign up via the link, not by walking into a store. And I'll also have the information on how to sign up for PupBox's subscription box to help you train your pup. We've got so many big things coming that I am not ready to talk about, but I will be ready to talk about very soon. I will say this though, it is not going to be the same business as usual. We're gonna do some different things this year. Stay tuned, but if you must have a spoiler, my TikTok is full of them right now. And obviously, if you have a puppy, subscribe to my channel. And if you like to read, I've written 2 books. I'll have the links below. See you next time.